coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson.
Unbelievable finish.
It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Paloma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe. For Audie's win here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call. Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkett goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I trying this contact though.
wide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Fantastic. This is GT Racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, here we go! Oh no!
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Good evening and welcome to SimSpeed TV's Friday Double Take here, beginning with the Virtual Racing School GT Sprint Series. We'll back it up later with the Class C trucks at Bristol. But right now we're at Sebring in some GT machinery. Should be a pretty quick 40-minute race ahead of us because this track certainly provides a lot of action. Its bumps provide a lot of unpredictability. And myself and Simon Mizomo in the comms box provide a lot of uncertainty in this race. So Jay Kennedy's behind the scenes to listen on as always. Simon, what do you expect from this?
Oh, good evening, everyone. What do I expect from this? I expect a fantastic race because that's what Sebring does bring. Whenever these cars, be it GTE, GT3, or even the DPs, whenever we come to this track, great racing always happens. So yeah, it's going to be a good night, I hope.
And qualifying is currently underway. As you can see, we're watching Jamie Fierro from Iberia in that BMW. I can't quite see if that angle what car it is.
BMW, yes.
It's a BMW. There you go. It's one of the two. From the back, they actually look kind of similar with a big, massive rear wing. So he's on his first flying lap at the moment in the session. Reasonably long track here at Sebring too, which means a lot of places where you can make a mistake and throw your lap away.
Yeah, it's very possible to do that. And the bumps themselves, as you actually mentioned earlier on when we started this thing, is that especially through some corners, they can unsettle the cars a bit. Here's one corner as such that can unsettle it. You can see right in the middle of the corner and coming out of the exit, it does bounce the car around a fair bit. You really got to get that line absolutely right through that corner. So getting that perfect lap is being able to maximize every bit of the track and being such a long track. To get it perfect every corner, hit every apex, it's definitely a hard job to do. Oh, seem to have lost my co-commentator. Oh, that's not good. But yes, we're looking on board at the moment with Jamie as he's heading down the back straight. Looks like he's about to start his first flyer. Yep, he will be coming up to start his first flying lap in that beautiful BMW, one of the best GT3 cars on the service if you ask me. But as he rounds out the final corner, I believe Ryan is back.
Yeah, I've hit the wrong button. That's what happened there. I hit the close button on the wrong program. So booted me out. We're back. Jamie Ferrer goes up into third place. Matt Gator put the fastest lap down, 1 minute 58.08. Put himself up on provisional pole as Jamie gets knocked back to fourth. That McLaren shooting flames into the very dark looking track. It's reasonably late on in the evening. And Wayne Burke in that BMW will make his way through into a very tight section of the racetrack.
So you can also notice the sun's... Well, I've just noticed, so yeah, it's actually the sun's quite low, so thinking this is going to be a late afternoon race, so it's going to be really, really good for the guys out there. The tyre life's going to be fantastic, and you won't really notice as big of a drop off as what you usually would. So pace should be fairly consistent. Lap times, obviously, in this section already fairly quick at the moment. Wayne Burke, we can see on screen hitting those apexes perfectly as he comes through once again in the BMW, coming out onto the back straight using every bit of the track that he possibly can.
Right, well, I think I've established the BMW that he's driving. I think we've both said it 2 or 3 times already. And into a very fittingly named for this session, Sunset Bend at the 17th corner of the racetrack, the corner of a million possible lines that you can take. Wayne Burke goes for a nice steady arc through the corner, nothing drastic. Power down off the exit as early as he can, comes across the line. What time does he do? So 1 minute 58.868 puts him up into fourth.
Yeah, it's quite a decent spread in the field at the moment, looking at the early lap times, though everyone will still be on their second lap. But I don't know if they'll have enough time to be able to get there. Matt hits the lap time, and he goes straight to the top with a 1:57.8. So, yeah, quite a spread in the lap times at the moment.
Certainly is. Half a second from Gator back to Tassie there in second place. Norby Kiss puts himself up into sixth. There is Matsky currently third in the session. He's making his way round the back section of the race track now through Collier and down into Tower in the moment.
Very, very nice run through those last couple of corners as he gets onto the back straight using all the inside of that curb. It's very beneficial if you can actually get the inside wheel over the top of that curb. Just helps pull it around, straighten the car off a bit more. You can get on the power a lot earlier. See, it's maximised his run down the back straight. As you say, heading into Sunset Bend. Hard on the brakes down, trying to keep the momentum going through the corner. Get all the power as early as you can. Maxing the revs out, as you can see, coming on to the front straight. What time will he put down? And it will be only goes a couple of tenths faster, so he maintains third place.
He'll stay third then with a comfortable margin back to fourth. He's got half a second in his favour. Wayne Burke back in fifth, just going to get his second lap in. Where does he go? If he can find a second, he'll challenge for pole. Across the line for him, it's a 58.796. He found a 10th, puts himself back up into fourth place, and he is the final driver to complete a lap time. Let's have a look then at how this 28 car field will line up from Sebring International Raceway. Matt Gator on a pole position. Attila Tassi starting from second. Tim Matsky and Wayne Burke third and fourth. Bruno Mahoney Flores and Norby Kiss off row 3. Then comes Benjamin Milhuisen and Jose Miguel Galila in 8th. Darren Parker and Jamie Fierro in 10th.
And as we go to P11, that'll be Dean Ieta in 12th place. Ruel Fernandez Villaseca. 13th, Mauricio Massi in 14th place. Pablo Vicenti. 15th, Fabio Iotti. 16th. Oh, this is going to be one. Great. Oh, I apologize for this, but Grazgor's Radecki in 16th. Jan Hodacek in 17th, Roberto Kovac in 18th, Jos M. Aries in 19th, Yalim Erekia? I'm just butchering this one. They do it to me on purpose, I swear. Yalim Erkia in 20th place.
Slaven Proceda will start 21st ahead of Ken Krop 22nd. Then comes Wojciech Krumalaka and Florian von Minkwich in 24th. Jordi Russell and Bernd Halbersen 25th, 26th. The field rounded out by Daniel Gomez Garcia and Alessandro Tessitore.
You just... Oh, yep. Sorry. Keep going.
Track conditions then. As we expect, extremely cool temps, 22 degree air, 22 degree track temp, that's 72 Fahrenheit for you Americans out there. Almost no wind, and what little of it we have coming from the southeast. Don't ask me what that means in terms of position on the racetrack. Estimated race distance, 21 laps. So 21 laps to set yourself up for an overtake or make your way through the field. iRacing standard time at 7:47 in the evenings for the track. And we'll get a little bit cooler the longer we go through in this race. They're going to need to make a pit stop in this one. It's going to be for fuel. They're not going to be taking tyres, which means they've got to go at least a little bit of a way into the event before they come down and they can actually fit the required fuel into their tank.
Yeah, so very long roll-up lap for these guys. Obviously, at Sebring, they do the entire circuit, so gives them plenty of time to sort themselves out, give the belts a bit of a tug to make sure they're ready for this one. But yes, should be entertaining. The sun has really gone down now. We're almost looking at a completely dark race. When it usually gets to this conditions, you can't really see a whole lot without the headlights, so braking markers that you would have picked up on during the qualifying session may not be able to see them as well as what you could before, so you'll be trying to find other markers or other places where you could try and pick up your braking points. But yeah, as it's a fair bit of a lap around for this roll-up.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they haven't been lined up further around the racetrack. You're normally on circuits, I think it's around a minute and a half, doesn't have to be that. Belle-Isle, you start before the penultimate corner for a rolling start, but albeit a 2-minute lap time, we're gonna have a full lap under pace car conditions here. Bonus to running in the evening, early night time, you get to see the flames spitting out the back of that McLaren. You can see just out of the left side of the windshield, the geodesic machine. We're on board with Ken Krop here in the middle of the field. He's gonna have a tough time starting where he is. Where is he? He's back in 22nd, so could be right in the thick of the action for this one. And Sebring, all the bumps, it's its defining characteristic. That's the trait everyone thinks of when they think Sebring Raceway. And it does mean that it's very easy to make a mistake, because if you get those bumps the wrong way, they really can do a lot of harm for your stability.
Yes, absolutely. We've spoken about it a bit already, but yeah, the bumps definitely play a big factor. There's a few key spots on the track where the bumps. Turn one, probably one we haven't spoke about as yet. That's the big one that tend to catches a lot of people out. Catches a lot of people out in general. It's very, very easy to really run wide. You've got to hold a very, very tight line as you go through it, and then sort of at the last second let the car run off wide. If you let it drift that little bit too early, you'll notice that basically the track or the concrete runoff stops and you just hit the grass. And it's very easy to, if you sort of get it a bit too late or hit it a bit wrong, it does get the car a bit sideways. Just on a bit of a side note, how good is it to see the McLarens up front for this one? It's been a very long time since we've been able to sort of see the McLarens be competitive, and obviously with the addition of the new tyre model, this has given them the breath of life that they need. So it's fantastic to see them up the front.
All right, then. Field going to be in the hands then of Matt Gator in the McLaren. He's got another one alongside of an Attila Tassi. Green flag in the air. We're racing in Sebring. Tassi immediately made a little duck down to the inside to try to cover off Matski. Thought better of it. They're on side by side then for third place down into one. Tassi going real deep. Almost, and in fact he will get alongside Gator then. And they'll go door to door for the lead of the race down into turn number 2. On the inside, Tassi going to take it away. A slight piece of contact opens the door now to the man in third. That will be Tim Matski. And unfortunately for Gator here, he might go back to third. Good news for him. He's got the inside run now for the hairpin.
Yeah, it's a very good start. A bit of side-by-side action. They've done an amazing job to keep it going. It looks like Tassi's going to have this one. Gator's got the inside, so he's not going to have to surrender that position. Looks as though he's got it, but the Audi coming off the top. Tim's, he's gonna have another run at him. I'd guess into the next corner if he could get right down alongside. Is he going to go for a look? Doesn't. Chooses to stay behind, but then there's a move coming. Yes, Nobby Kiss goes for the move on Wayne Burke. It does get that move done.
Very good move from Nobby Kiss there late on the brakes. Completed that one. Matski again. Gator went defensive through Collier, and Matski thought about the outside move, thought better of it. Patience is a virtue in these races. Thanks to Urban Simulation, we're going to take a look at a replay of an incident further back in the field. This is Jamie Fierro down into the hairpin through the middle of 3, and straight on he went. Gotta say, commendations for not hitting anyone else.
Yeah, he did that absolutely perfectly. Managed to avoid everyone else. Very, very hard to do when you got a pack that's as compressed as what they were
wait,
at that point.
Chased all the way to the inside of the track in live pictures. We're still looking at replays here, but we should get a replay of that up next. And there was actually quite a sizable crash in turn 1. Oh no, Wayne Burke! Oh, that's a very dangerous spot. Stranded in the middle of the racetrack, the final corner. This was the big cat and mouse down the back straight away. And then, as we say on the replay, he just loses the rear end through Sunset Bend, and around she goes, locks it down on the brakes. Everyone does a good job to drive around the stranded Beamer, and he escapes with no damage. But he's now back in 12th place and looking to attack on the back of Slaven Prasina. He will go through, take that spot away. A little bit further up is the battle, though, for the top 5 position.
Yeah, a bit hard luck for Wayne there. It's very, very easy to do, like we were saying. It's one of those hard corners because you carry so much pace, so much momentum into it, and you're pretty much braking the whole way into the corner. So it's very easy to accidentally pinch a rear and lock it through there. As we can see, a bit of a battle going here. Darren Parker in the Mercedes. Yet it looks like he got past the McLaren of Flores as well, but Flores is going to come back at him. He's going to go to the outside, but looks like he'll defend that one quite easily and keep that spot.
It was a good move from Parker down to the hairpin. Just balked the car a little bit as he made it through on the inside to prevent Flores from getting the cutback, but he's made a mistake there and gone wide. This is going to allow Flores to run side by side with him. He might have the momentum to clear him on the right side of the racetrack when they get onto the brakes. Just behind them as well is Pablo Vicente. If these guys run into issues, still door to door, a little bit more contacts, and Flores has to dart to the right hand side. behind Vicente and Massey had to check up as well. And this drags Dean Etier into the picture to be right on board with Darren Parker looking back. And this is on board with Flores, who's got a whole gaggle of cars now in behind.
Yeah, a bit of pushing and shoving there, but it was still fantastic racing to sort of keep that side-by-side action. You can see they're coming out of the final corner now.
Great run.
Oh, brilliant run. Oh, we can see one car sideways. I think he's gone into pit lane. As you can see, side by side.
He's literally gone into pit lane.
Oh, he's in the tyre barrier.
Yeah.
That's not optimal at all. It looks
Didn't you do that in practice?
I've probably definitely done that in practice, let's be honest, but I'm having a look at the replay. I've got a feeling I know what he's done. He's run wide, into the grass, slightly touched the wall, straight into the barrier. That is going to do a fair bit of damage to that car. I don't think we'll see that car come back out.
Oh, crash back in the pack as well. Yalam Kea off into the dirt, and he was actually more so the innocent victim in that one. Good job to be nice and smart and cautious with that rejoin too, to jump back on the brakes. Car in front of him ran wide coming through turn at number 5. And that checked up Kea, who actually sort of followed him through. They were side by side, bit of contact there. Preceding car runs wide off the corner. Kea follows, and unfortunately was the one to get deposited off into the fence.
Just a bit unfortunate. It was a little bit sort of a bit between them, a bit of aggressive play there, but you can sort of see as he's come off the curb, he's hit that cone over the outside ripple strip, which will absolutely get you sideways, and that's exactly what it's done. So it's unfortunate, just got the car in the wrong position. So you can see back up front at the moment, Matt Gator and Tim Matsky still going at it. These two haven't separated each other. Looks like Attila Tassi is starting to break a bit of a gap out at the moment. But yeah, these two, the battle for second and third is still going on.
Certainly, only half a second separating these guys on the racetrack. 2 seconds adrift of Attila Tassi, who really turned up the leg over the last couple of laps. It was only 0.7 of a second last time I looked. Puts in fastest lap of the race once again, a 1:58 flat almost to extend that margin. For comparison, Gator ran at a 1:58.9, so it's almost a full second of a lap slower. Still pretty close further afield in the battle for what's now 8th place, I guess, for Flores, or Flores here in 7th actually. Now at the head of this train, I think Darren Parker might have just started to gap them. Well, as I say that, he is starting to lose a little bit of time on this lap, so not over with yet. Wayne Burke just off the back of these guys, 2 and 10th.
Yeah, I was going to say, Darren Parker was actually the fastest one out of that group. But yeah, you're sort of seeing he's dropping back a little bit at the moment. Wayne was about the 5th fastest, so he's definitely catching that group by a bit. We have a quick look at their times. There was about a half a second gap between Wayne and Darren, so he'll be catching onto that train fairly quickly at the moment. But yeah, it seems that this little pack, they're not sort of really getting away. Oh, there's a bit of a look, I think, by... I think that was Flores as well, who sort of stuck the nose out a little bit to have a look. But yeah, there's sort of just finding a bit of a rhythm at the moment. Not a whole lot happening with this pack right now.
But it could happen very quickly here because they're really closing up in the 8th place battle. Mauricio Massi all over the back of Pablo Vicente as they snake their way through and use all of the available racetrack on the entry to this back straightaway. And it's Wayne Burke with the best run of them all. He's going to pull to the right rear quarter panel of Massi down into Sunset Bend. Can he get that car far enough up the inside to make the move? He will dive down on the brakes, lay it, and deep he goes. And he's going to complete it so long as he can fend off a potential cutback from Massey. Not going to happen. Burke up into 9th. He'll look to chase down Vicente now just in front of him.
I wonder if we can see what a similar situation as what we saw Wayne did last week. Battle himself back through the pack and then in the pit stops being able to pull himself back onto the podium. It's definitely possible. He's definitely got the ability to do it. He proved it last week, so... It's always entertaining to see Wayne battle his way back through the field at the moment, as you say. So it seems like he's going to get on to the back of Vicente quicker than we expected as they head a run down to this hard right-hand hairpin. Quite a difficult hairpin, this one. You've got to sort of pull the car right up, and then you've got these little chicane as you come out. Very easy to let the car drift too wide. You can see it's like a tiny bit of a chicane as they come out. Very easy to drift wide and get the wheels into the dirt there. But he pulled a bit of a gap there again, just eking it out a little bit. Brakes on these BMWs are quite incredible. They even beat the Mercedes at some points. So definitely pulling that car up under brakes and getting that gap closer and closer. And we'll be looking at an opportunity to have a look on the side.
He's very experienced as Wayne Burke. He's just setting himself up. He'll know what corner he wants to make this move stick. And he's going to close himself all the way up to the back bumper and not lose any momentum or speed or use those tyres up too much before he gets there. And he's setting himself up for a look into Sunset Bend. He backs up the entry, tries to get the power down, but a very good job through there from Vicente to fend off that potential run, and he'll run down into Sunset without any issues from behind. There's a slow car just in front. That is Darren Parker, who must have a slowdown because he dropped an absolute ton. There may be contact there. That was very close as Vicente got up towards the right rear quarter panel of that front car. Now Wayne Burke going to squeeze in between Vicente and the wall, forces Vicente back to the racing line. Well, Vicente thought about a look through the middle there. Glad he didn't. Wayne Burke puts himself up into 8th, and Darren Parker going to come under a lot of pressure as Burke dives towards the inside, but Parker shuts that door.
I was thinking he wasn't going to have a proper look at that one. He wasn't quite there, but it was very close racing. It almost looked like Vicente was going to be able to hold out Wayne Burke, but it didn't look like that was going to happen. But now he's all over the back of Darren Parker, and he's already pulling out to have a look. Can he get there? No, he's not. Darren's managed to get that thing pulled up a bit later than Wayne as they come out now, the run up to the next right-hander. Mercedes obviously has a little bit of a off the corner. It's got a lot of torque and a lot of top-end speed, these Mercedes, sorry. So very, very hard to get up alongside, but it's obviously breaking a massive draft in for Wayne that he can allow him to sort of try and get that, get a draft, get a run at him and try and have a look at the next corner.
Sunset Bend seems to be the place of, oh no, Wayne Burke up the inside here then. Thought he was going to wait for Sunset, but not quite. Going to try to get it done before the back straight away. He'll slice through, but Parker should have a good run here. Oh, that's going to be tight. And Burke, very fortunate not to get spun off to the left because Parker got right into that left rear quarter of the BMW. Now he looks to the inside, trying to take the spot back away. Is old Darren Parker there, but Burke throws in on the outside. Parker with the inside run. Burke's going to look to cut back or stay on the outside. Stays on the outside. Contact. Burke runs very wide off into the grass, and he's going to lose a spot as a result. Might lose 2. Maurizio Massi trying to follow Vicente through. He'll have the slipstream, but he'll have the wrong side of the racetrack. So 1 spot lost in trying to gain 1 there for Burke.
Yeah, it was a bit, I'm not sure, he did a fantastic job to get that move done, but then he didn't really try to defend the run into Sunset. I'm a bit confused as to why he didn't try to sort of protect that position. Obviously felt he had the confidence to get it, that if there was an attack, he'd actually be able to keep the position. But yeah, there was a bit of contact coming out of Sunset that pushed him a bit wide. Very good job to keep it off the wall. It looked very close, like he was going to actually make contact, but he's done a good job to keep it out of there. You can see this little battle pack starting to compress again with the little battle that's going up front. Now, Wayne, is he going to be able to get a go at Pablo? And he's already pulled out. He's already got up alongside. This is going to be quite an easy move to do, and he gets it done just like that.
Well, Vicente there knows Burke's fastest. He's just watched him range up onto the back of Parker, and well, the only reason he didn't make the move stick was a bit of contact between them. Wayne Burke does a lot of passing in these races, doesn't he, Simon? He's a very fast driver, but he does seem to get the rough end of the stick a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Sometimes that's just what happened. That's part of racing. It's just sometimes you're just wrong place at the wrong time when those things happen. But he's still doing a fantastic job. Second week in a row where he's just putting on a clinic on how to pass people as he comes back through this field. You can see there's a bit of defending going on back down the field. There's a McLaren trying to get a move done. Looks like he's going to get on the outside. We'll try to quickly grab who that is. Massey and Slaven Prusina. That's it. Got it. Up and straight into the pits.
Poor tyre. I mean, poor cone. No regard for its life there. Just deposited straight off. And Burke gonna try to check Parker off the list of names that he's got, and trying to make his way back up the field. Parker again gonna fend him off, but Burke gonna force the issue. Still there, still not able to clear him. Still door to door. Finally, with the third inside line, third corner in a row with the inside line, finally completes the move. And now Parker's gonna watch out for Vicente. Vicente's on the wrong side of the track. He's being squeezed very tight there. Now give it a bit more room. If he can drive it around the outside, maybe even go for a crossover. Parker's done a good job to hold him off there.
He ran very, very deep into that final left-hander there. That sort of gave Wayne the ability to sort of get that finally done. And then, yeah, obviously that bit of an attack there. It's one of those corners, very easy to run it a little bit wide. And then we can see in the background, Slaven is ranging up on this battle at the moment. So obviously started a bit down the back of the pack. He's actually come up 11 spots at the moment. His lap times compared to these guys in front, he's been on par or quicker than the guys in front. You can see at the moment he's got the pace all over Parker right now. Sorry, no, that's not Parker. That's Vicente. Parker's in front. But yes, the pace is definitely looking good at the moment as they come on to the back straight. Now, this McLaren, he's got a lot of top-end pace. If he can get in the draft, he can definitely get alongside. And you can see he's ranging up at the moment very, very slowly, but I don't think he's actually going to be able to get there in time. He does pull out and have a look. Not really much going to happen there. Maybe try and force a mistake for Vicente at the moment. That's not happening as they come out of sunset and they go for another one. Obviously, pit stops are starting to occur. People are starting to make the trip down the lane. But yes, now, what's the strategy going to be here? Would you run long or would you take an opportunity to pit early?
Well, Ken Kropp's going to pit now. It's that part of the race where the pit stops really start to flow in towards that middle stage. We'll see guys diving down as late as about 10 or so minutes to go. And Slaven Prusina in the chasing car here might be one of those drivers that wants to make a pit stop now. Get out of some of the traffic that he's currently encountering. Who's he got in front of him? It's probably Vicente and Darren Parker. So I think Vicente and Parker is struggling a bit as this race goes on for some pace. More and more people seem to be driving up onto the back of this pack, don't they?
Absolutely. I think the battle packs that they've been getting themselves into is not really helping at all. The pace, prior to sort of getting in this bit of scrap, the pace for them is actually really, really good. They were sort of the top 10 fastest guys on track. So, yeah, that bit of battling hasn't helped. Obviously, battling as well doesn't really help the tyres at all. Slaven with a very, very good run out of Tower Corner as they head up to the double left-handers, but no, he's decided to pull out of that one and fight another day. I think you'll be trying to get as good of a run as you can. If you get these corners right, you can get a fantastic run using as much of the inside curve, a bit of a Pablo getting it a bit sideways. This is going to be it. He's definitely going to have a run now.
Oh, you've
pulls. Got him. Oh, very last minute defensive maneuver there. Got to commit to that early, buddy. But yes.
Yeah, Kirsten, that's why you said you had it complete. He's going to come in the pit lane here. Here's Vicente. Comes down. He took that very shallow line. Made sure he wasn't caught on the wrong side of the track.
So he did complete the move. I wasn't wrong. He absolutely completed that move before the pit stop.
Well, we're not going to know until the pit stop phase is over, are we?
Absolutely. So this would be the interesting thing, I guess. With it being night conditions, the track's a lot cooler. whether or not the undercut is going to work all too well. I think last week we obviously saw that the overcut definitely had its advantages, but here, being a much longer track with much longer straights, generally tends to favor lighter fuel loads. You can generally get a bit more pace on those straights. So I'd probably also be saying this week that the overcut would be the better option. As you can see on screen at the moment, there is a bit of a battle going on behind Slavin. Daniel, Ete, and Florian having a good old scrap, and it looks like he's gonna back out of that one. Dean deciding to let him go. Realizes that's probably not the battle he wants to get himself involved in at the moment.
Carrying a bit of damage there is poor old Jordi Russell, probably from that lap 1 incident we saw through turn 1, or some kerfluffle down at the hairpin, which seems just as likely. That is a massive flashpoint on the circuit, is especially when you're in a big pack of 4 or 5 cars ready to have a concertina effect down there. But of course, this racetrack not got much lighting around it, so things were bump in the dark. Who knows what happened to Jordi Russell?
Yeah, definitely a bit of forced induction happening on that bonnet at the moment. That seems to not overly affect his pace too much, although it looks like he's actually just come out of the pits. I'm guessing if I have a quick look, yes, absolutely, he's not long come out of the pits. Car behind, Burnt as well, he's also come out of the pits. So we can see the battle up front, or that battle we were just looking at before, still continuing as we go to a bit of a replay.
On the topic of things going bump in the dark, that's a lot of smoke coming from the back of Dinetio's car. He lost that spot, lost out here despite having the inside down at turn 1. Have you actually noticed how much darker the track's gotten since we started this race?
It has got it to significantly dark.
It's
I think that's
pitch black outside of the headlights and track lights now.
Absolutely, that's the thing about this track. It does not take long for it to go to full dark. I mean, there's some tracks that you sort of see the sunset, and it'll take a fair while before it actually finally sets in pitch black conditions. Whereas Sebring, every time I've raced here, leading into night, before you know it, you can see the sunset, and then before you know it, it's absolutely pitch black. So you're very quick to have to adjust to the conditions. Obviously, as you say, not much lighting around the track, so it does make picking your brake markers a bit harder, especially if the marker you're using can't quite see as it goes into night. But Tassi out front doing an amazing job at the moment. He's got himself out over a 4-second lead. He's just controlling the pace at this point. Looking at his lap times, he's within a few tenths of the guys chasing him behind, so he's just managing that gap at the moment. So, doing a very good job.
4.3 seconds to second, 6 back to third. Smooth sailing for Attila Tassi from Central Eastern Europe. Right now, he can come down at his leisure when he wants to and get some fresh fuel in that car and carry on his way. Further afield of those top 3, we've still got quite a few drivers who've yet to make a pit stop. The exact number is somewhere around the range of 17 drivers who haven't pitted, so just over half the field. Yalom Urkea is the first car that has made a pit stop. Wayne Burke's actually just come out of pit lane, as you can see. That was Urkea going by him. Urkea hasn't pitted, but Burke has, and he's behind him, and that's why.
And he's in a BMW, just so you know.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Cool.
If we haven't already told you a couple of times already, he's in a BMW. We can see. So just having a quick look at Wayne at the moment. We'll have to wait until the position actually update. But yeah, it looks like he is going to be the out of the people that are pitted, he is out front at the moment. He's also got a bit of a gap to Pablo Vicente as well, who we did notice did pit a bit early. Looking at that, he's got about a 6 or 7 lap lead, 7 second. Didn't even have to look at the thing to realize what it is. And so that overcut definitely playing favour towards him, giving that a bit of clear air, a little bit of less fuel in the tank, sort of stretch his legs a little bit. So we're interesting to see the further we go into this race. Tim Matzke makes his way down the lane. So the first of the top 5 to make the call on pit stops. We'll see where he comes out for this one.
Be interesting to see what Matt Gator does. He was only about a second, 2 seconds off the back of Gator in that fight for P2. So, I mean, I don't think the undercut's worth anything because you're not taking tyres. But maybe his car's going to handle a bit better with some extra feel in there. And his lap times could be better with no one 2 seconds up the road as we ride on board with Wayne Burke through Sunset Bend. That's the car of Kea diving down a pit lane, releasing Burke into about half a straightaway of fresh air. Tim Matzke's come out of pits all by his lonesome.
Very good pit stop there. But yes, be interesting to see what Matt does. Oh, as Daniel Garcia off the track at the moment. We'll go to a replay, have a quick look and see what's actually happened. Into turn 1. Looks he gonna run wide a bit. No, seems to get through there perfectly fine. Into the braking zone. Oh, and the rear.
Ooh. Can we get an onboard from Kovac behind?
Oh, he's done a very good job. Yeah, he's done a very good job to avoid that one. Not sure what's going on. He's a bit wide of the apex and the rear. Oh. Although, credit where credit's due, he's done the exact same thing that you always do. The first thing I was always taught when I especially got into motorsport is if you see a car spin in front of you, chase the rear. You follow the rear of the car where it's going. He's done exactly that. Instead of trying to avoid go to the left, he's just gone, followed the tail of the car around and managed to avoid it. Big props to Garcia to also hold the brakes on as well, so he didn't actually roll back. As we can see, first and second are into the lane at the moment. Norby also comes into the lane. Looks like this is where it's all happening now. The top 5 all into the lane. As we look
well,
at
of course,
Darren
you've
Parker.
got plenty of experience chasing the backs of cars, don't you, Simon?
Say some things now, Ryan. I could say some things. I'm not going to. Tim Matzke comes out of Sunset.
Did you just smash a glass? Simon.
As we see, going into turn 1, where is he going to come out? Can't see Tassie at the moment. I think he may have already got down the road.
Yes, he has. He's checked out. He's gone.
Yep. And so has, oh, interesting, so has Matt Gator. He has had a massive gain out of that one as well. So, yeah, obviously, the undercut not working.
Not too surprised. I mean, obviously, the undercut's usually talked about when you're taking tyres, isn't it, Simon? Pit stops in these sprint races don't involve tyres because the compound they use for the GT machinery is quite durable. Either that or the GT cars do so much of the work aero-wise that tyres don't need to do too much. They're not under much stress, and a 40-minute race, you really don't need to come down to pit lane to change them. But feels the limiting factor. That's why I've seen everyone come down. And that's why a flurry of cars came down on the same lap there. Oh, Matzke's gone around! Wow, he's very lucky he kept that off the fence. And he's very lucky he had a big buffer back to Norby Kiss. This is the chopper cam of Tim Matzke making his way around the back of the circuit. Rear end just steps out on him, locks those brakes down. The fence there is actually quite close to the circuit, but he did a good job to recognise that spin early and just prevent himself from drifting off the circuit.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for that one. I think the classic, as they call the Audi death slide, it just sort of happens out of nowhere. He'll decide to sort of try and see if you're awake, I guess. But yeah, very unfortunate. He still manages to keep that position, but if he's looking to have a challenge against Matt later in the race, it's probably not going to happen now. See, Slavin in that McLaren. Looking challenging again on Darren Parker as they head down into Sunset Bend. Rolled out of the throttle there, was obviously gaining, but decided to roll out, wait for another opportunity. But that McLaren definitely has a lot of legs at the moment on that back straight as you come out. And oh, that's looks like that's a bit of a slowdown there. I think it was for Flores. He's come out of that corner and just slowed right down, given the positions up. So I'm not sure what's actually happened there.
Yeah, strange. Here we go. We're on board with Christina now. That's Parker right up in front. Took a defensive line into turn 3 and through turn number 5. He doesn't need to because Christina dropped off quite a bit. We'll have a decent margin down this straight towards the hairpin.
Just having a look back at the pack now, we've got Radetsky and Burnt having a good old battle. This is for 15th and 14th. You've got also hang behind them as well. There's a decent battle going on. As you can see, Darren Parker has gone around at the hairpin.
Birdman simulation replay up on screen. Parker, I said he had a comfortable margin back in the hairpin. It didn't matter because he lost it by himself. A lot of people are struggling through rear end stability, which in a GT car, downforce is something you have a lot of.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising we're seeing so many of that. As you're saying, like, you know, compared to other GT cars, the GT3s are quite low on sort of downforce, but even then, still a lot more than your standard race car. So a bit strange to see that happening. So you can see this battle at the moment of watching these guys in through the first couple of corners. There's a bit of a spirited battle going on at the moment. This is for 14th, 15th, 16th. So they're not inside the top 10, but they're still battling as hard as if they are. See the Ferrari in front of the McLaren, the Mercedes at the moment. See the Ferrari has one of those things as well. It's got plenty of straight line speed at the moment. Mercedes is hammering those curbs trying to keep up at the moment. So bit of a battle that was side by side into turn 1. Now you can look at Burnt having a bit of a look. Can he get close enough to have another look? He's gone very deep into Sunset Hairpin, pulling it around. A very, very nice run through Sunset as they come at a bit of a tail slide from the Ferrari as they come onto the front straight. He's already going defensive. Looks as though he might have a bit of a look straight to the outside as the Ferrari tries to defend the corner. Looks like he's gonna defend it. Yep, he will. Oh, but a bit wide out of the corner. He's allowed the car behind as well. Number 22 of Benjamin Belhursen, as well as he having a bit of a look at the moment.
Still riding on board with Radecki looking back out of the chasing cars. He's got nothing to worry about as he lunges onto the brakes into the hairpin. 2, 3, maybe even 4 cars lined up waiting for him to make a mistake while he in turn tries to have a look at the guys in front, such as Jordi Russell. And that's Bernd Halberstein and Michael behind him as well. And then comes Stefano Kavik. Kavik? I didn't quite catch that.
Just noticing too, I did go back and have a quick look at this battle. You see Darren's actually run wide again at that hairpin, the same as what he did before. Didn't obviously spin it,
Darren.
but yeah, sort of having a bit of issues there, but that's allowed Geordie and this pack to actually catch up at the moment. So this could develop into a bit more of a battle train right now. So as you see Benjamin hanging behind off the back at the moment. He's pulling himself into this battle as well. So yeah, Darren sort of having a few little issues. You can see the Ferrari all over the back of Jordi Russell. Looks like Radecki is he's got a bit of pace in that Ferrari at the moment. As you can see, he's catching up to Jordi on the back straight as they head into Sunset.
And don't forget as well, this is part 1 of our Friday night double take here on Sim Speed. If you like trucks, or you like listening to Simon Mazoma butcher names, then tune in at 1/4 of the hour, because we're going racing at Bristol. Should be a lot of fun. So is this battle. There's Halverson trying to cover off on the outside, in fact, making the move on Radecki. Drives the long way round the corner. Radecki trying to throw it back up the inside. And it'll be a shame if he runs it off, because I reckon Alberson deserves that after that effort around the outside at turn 1, but not going to be. Radecki fends him off, and Halverson going to have to try again. Milhuisen tucked right up behind as well, looking for an opportunity where he can potentially capitalise as Radecki drives a defensive line down into the hairpin up in front. Loving this is Geordie Russell looking in his mirrors as they duke it away and hold each other up. Halverson not able to make it work at the hairpin. What about down here into Tower? No, he's not close enough.
Yeah, it's definitely having a bit of a go here, but trying to get up alongside at the moment seems to be the hard part, especially with the long straights at the moment. But yes, he's doing it, trying to line up an opportunity. He's coming off the corners, coming off that corner fantastically there. He's got a very, very nice run. It's very, very hard to try and position yourself for a move. You're almost better saving the opportunity for the run onto the back straight as you head up to Sunset. See the Ferrari very nicely through the corner at the moment. As they get onto the back straight using all the curb, and very nice run. The Mercedes of Grant running it wide as he can. As you can see, everyone going defensive on the back straight. No one wants to let anyone pass at the moment. It's almost like synchronized driving at the moment. They all move backwards and forwards at the exact same time as we head through Sunset at the other side. Fantastic racing going on at the moment. Oh, just noticed a car sideways out of Sunset as well. Looks like they've also gone. It's car number 27 of...
Go on. Go on.
You're doing it to me now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't pronounce that.
Or cheat Kua Malaka.
Yep, we'll go with that one.
I mean, the thing is, I'm not getting them right. I'm pretty confident of that, but I'm saying it with confidence, Simon.
And obviously the confidence you have and I don't at the moment. Confidence with saying different names. Obviously,
butcher them confidently.
Butcher them well, yeah.
Don't take that out of context.
I think the less said, the better at this point. So looking on board at the moment. This battle still has not simmered down at all. Still going for it. So Geordie in front at the moment, these three cars. So waiting and seeing how this goes. We've got a few more laps remaining in this race. Looks like when Tassie will hit the line, we'll have 2 to go. So there's 2 laps. So a whole heap of opportunities waiting as once again, everyone going ultra defensive onto the back straight. Don't think they're really close enough for a move to actually happen, but nonetheless, they're still defending.
This is almost the only battle on the racetrack right now. Fabio Otti, I believe it was. Fabio Iotti ended up in a curious spot, according to our director. That is curious. Hey! Yeah, wait, what? Where's he going? Where's he going? Go back that way. There you go.
Back that way. Yep.
Turn right. What? I thought he was going to try straight back into old mate on the racetrack then. Good job.
It's almost like you're his GPS. Continue straight for 200
Rerouting. Rerouting. Please make a U-turn.
Definitely need to make a U-turn at that point.
No, Halverson.
Going into
He's also going to have his GPS tell him to reroute, because that is not the race track. He's got back on it now. But I wonder, was there contact? He was in this battle. He was side by side. It was on the outside of the racetrack. Just dipped the right sides off. As a result, there was no contact, but a misjudgment there. A lack of concentration, potentially, and one small mistake will cost him a handful of spots there.
I think that's probably what a lot of people don't realise. It is actually quite easy to make that mistake. It may seem like you're looking at it thinking, oh, well, just get out of the throttle and you'd save yourself that. But it's so easy if you just get the throttle just that little bit wrong or let the car run that little bit too wide, it's so easy for you to grab that curb, and it actually kind of pulls you out as well. So wouldn't be too hard on him. Just sometimes just running a little bit too wide just unfortunately catches you out.
Final lap of the race for our race leaders. These guys took it across the line until they click on to the final lap as they snake their way down the pack straight away. Once again, Train being led by a car that is punching a ragged hole in the air with the damage to his front end. There's Geordie Russell's machine up the front. Radecki and Benjamin Mulhausen still battling away, but still not able to make himself a real threat to Radecki as Mulhausen. He's not close enough, and unless he can reel in a couple car lengths, he won't be close enough. These guys battling about a minute off the lead of the race, which means Attila Tassi is about halfway of a lap from winning this race. And he has been completely unchallenged today out front. Put it on pole by a handy little margin. Ran away with it ever since lap number 1. He's led every single lap of this race. Fastest lap, every lap led, and the race win. It's a trifecta then for Attila Tassi as he comes through Sunset Bend. The sun has well and truly set over the racetrack, and it has well and truly set over the race victor today. Tassi gets it done at Sebring. He takes out the VRS GT3 Series.
Yeah, fantastic drive yet again, as you're saying. Gets the trifecta, all three. You can see the flag marshal not that excited.
Jay, what are you doing?
There it is. Looking for the fireworks. I knew what Jay was doing. I had faith. I had faith in Jay. But yes, the fireworks do go off as this race comes to an end. Matt Gator bringing home second. Tim Matsky coming home in third to round out the podium. You can see Wayne Burke coming home in sixth. So after that, dropping 2 spots, but still managing to come back to 6th place. So a fantastic job by Wayne.
What about that battle further afield if we stop sightseeing for a moment? There they are. Geordie Russell will come across in 13th. Radecki got close through the final corner, but not close enough. What a sight to see as you come across the start-finish line. Russell will claim a hard-earned and a hard-fought 13th. Did a pretty good job in that race. He came through very nicely. Unfortunately, Roberto Stefano Kovac is out of fuel, and he's trying his utmost best to make it back to the start-finish line. He's going to lose out a spot, unfortunately. Back to 22nd now. He'll make it. He'll make it. Surely he'll make it. Come on. If he just get out and push the car.
Just sit it on the starter motor, you'll be fine. You'll get it to the line.
Yeah, he'll be right. Come on. Come on, we want to show the results. Cross the damn line, Kovac! No, I'm kidding. Alright, let's take a look at our results. He's got it across the start-finish line. And we know who won the race. It was Attila Tassi, even. The man from Europe that got it done by 3.7 seconds. Back to Gator. Matsky home in third after his spin. Norby Kiss came fourth. Jose Miguel Galilea rounded out the top 5. Wayne Burke and Slaven Prasina 6th and 7th. Good recovery drive from Wayne Burke again. And Bruno Mahoney Flores came home in 8th. They had a Pablo Vicente and Florian von Minkwich.
And see how many names I can butcher in this one. Coming home in 11th, Dean Etia. About 55 seconds adrift from the lead. Darren Parker in 12th. Doing a fantastic job, but unfortunately a few little mistakes. Geordie Russell coming home in 13th. Gregory's Radecki coming home in 14th. 15th, Benjamin Malhusen coming home there. 16th, Ken Kropp. 17th, Bernd Halbisen. And then 18th, Daniel Gomez Garcia. 19th, Yalim Erkiaka coming home in 19th. And Wojciech Malaka in 20th.
There you go, you're getting better. Now just don't pause, just plow straight through it. Richo Massey in 21st, ahead of Roberto Stefano Kovac and Fabio Iotti. Yeah, and Hojacek coming home in 24th, ahead of Alessandro Tessitore. Yami Fierro, Jose M. Marias, and Raul Fernandez Villaseca. And that will conclude us from Sebring for the VRS GT Sprint Series. Coming up in 14 minutes' time, Class C trucks at Bristol, the last great Coliseum. That's going to be wild. Stay tuned on SimSpeed TV. Go find the broadcast on YouTube. It'll be on our channel on Facebook. Keep it up. We'll be right back in a few minutes' time.